Millennium73 here. Welcome back to Star Wars Build the Millennium Falcon. Now, I've got some somewhat disheartening news here. I've actually lost not only episodes 60 through 62, but I also did a really cool tutorial on how to do the blaster marks. Now, I'm not really doing much to the top, but on the bottom, and I can show you guys here in a bit. But as many of you know, I use my iPhone 6 to record high-definition video because it does a really awesome job. And something happened to my iPhone, and needless to say, it won't turn on. It won't really do anything. When I plug it into my Mac, it does say that the phone is in recovery mode, but I don't know whether or not the videos are ever going to be recoverable. As time permits, I do plan on going over to the Apple Store and seeing if they can recover anything, but my hopes are not high. And it really sucks because I have a lot of pictures, my dad, of, just the last, more than year and a half, and they could be potentially gone. So, I'm really sad about that. So, anyway, in the meantime, we've gone through issues 60 through 62, and this is kind of the result of everything that I have. Actually, I had the circuit board plugged up the other day because I was, playing around with the electronics and taking some still pictures for something completely different. But we actually got, pretty much half of the back framework assembled. We're going to continue with that in this episode, which I think is going to be 63, and then obviously 64 will be next week, hopefully. So let me get this switched around so that I can show you guys issues 61, 2, and 3, or I'm sorry, 60, 61, and 62, and then we'll look at 63 and continue on. So we'll be right back with that. Okay, so here we are really quick with issues 60, 61, and 62. I didn't get to these. I had them all recorded, but again, the footage is lost. We'll just take a quick look. So we've got the Artequans class light cruiser, which actually kind of looks like a cross between the Corvette and a Star Destroyer, but it's a lot smaller than it looks. Umbara Shadow World, docking rings, and our next part. So we got a few outer hull pieces, and actually assembled. I think what I did was I attached frame 24, but I didn't attach frame 29 and 30 because I was waiting for the inner part, which we got in episode 61. The reason why I've been doing that is because I've been getting a lot of frames that are not aligning correctly when we build them from the outside to the inside, but it seems like if I start from the inside and build out, things align a lot more, a lot better. So if you guys are doing your kits one issue at a time, just be aware that you might run into the same issue. But if you're kind of, getting, 4 packs at a time, and you're assembling everything together, you might actually want to take my advice and actually, start the inner pieces first and then, work your way out. So that's kind of what I did, because otherwise, and plus the other thing is you have this big piece, it doesn't have much support. I mean, the support jig is there to kind of support it, but it can still flex quite a bit, and I just don't like that. So hopefully if the footage is ever recovered, I'll go back and re-edit those videos and put them back in the timeline in their correct position, or I'm sorry, in the playlist in their correct position, but I still don't know whether that's a possibility. All right, in issue 61, we've got the Umbaran Starfighter, some information about that stuff, galactic time and dates, so you can read about that. Imperial shipping regulations, And again, we've got the inner piece here and then the outer piece, which I did not assemble that one yet again. And so, you know, you just fit the framework or the support jig together. And then basically what I did was I installed this TF31 first and then went back and did the last two pieces from issue 60. So from the last issue. We also have a radial stiffener here, and pretty much everything else is just, you know, screwing everything in. The only thing I did not do was attach this TF32 in place. I actually waited until issue 62 to do that. So we'll look at issue 62 right now. Let's see, Ganacht Vulture Claw. I'm not sure what that must be from Rebels or something, because I'm not familiar with that. Lotho Minor, the Junk Planet. Darth Maul's better half? No, worse half? I don't know. Depends on whether you're an optimist or a pessimist. Blaster pistols, which use a directed high energy particle beam. Okay, so they're not lasers. And just some more on that. Okay, again, just a couple, you know, hull frames, the rest of the stiffener from the last episode, and another piece of hull plating. And come on now. So again, I went with, let's see. No, I think I did put the radial stiffener in first, and then I installed 34, then 33, and then I guess TF32, which was the really wide panel. And that way we have, like, you know, a full slice of the pie. So we only have 2 more slices to go. I'm not sure really what to expect from this next issue. Looks like we have 2 more outer pieces. So again, it's like we've got a bunch of stuff to glue, and then we've got the 2 frame pieces. I will save these 2 frame pieces for the next issue. We'll kind of take a look at everything that we're going to build in this issue, but as far as actually installing the 2 frameworks or the frame pieces that we get that we get in issue 63, which we're doing this issue, that will be held off until issue 64. So I'm going to get set up for issue 63, so I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are with issue 63. We basically, I'm just going to go ahead and open up this pack so we can look through the parts really quick. Set that aside. No extra screws or anything like that. All right, just toss that into the bin. We have our little contact paper, toss that into the bin. So here we have some framework pieces. The stiffener, I think, does get installed in this issue, so I will go ahead and put that in, but for the rest of the framework, I will not. And actually, the stiffeners look kind of shiny this issue, but anyway. We also have this piece, which I guess goes in like this. And I guess there was a reason why they made this as 2 separate parts, but probably has something to do with all the little intricate details and getting those to, you know, properly, you know, fill in and have the mold pull away and all that stuff. So I'm assuming it has something to do with that. So we'll glue this in. We'll glue some of these parts in. I know some of them. I'm not sure if all of them. I don't think we use all of these pieces with this, but we'll check. In this issue, though, we've got the Heavy Corvette Imperialis. That's actually kind of a cool looking ship. I don't know whose heavy Corvette it is, but looks very whale-like or dolphin-like or shark-like even. Life on Rhodia. Aw, look at the nice road. It's like, It's Greedo's mom and dad, and there's little Greedo. No, it's probably not. Blaster rifles. All the different types of blaster rifles. If you've ever played pretty much any Star Wars first-person shooter, you're probably familiar with some of these. And then finally, assembling the top frame. So we've got a couple pieces here. Actually, this is the radial stiffener, so I can actually go ahead and get started on that. It also has the 2 extra frames, though I do not think... It says slacken the screw holding TF34. Oh, okay, right there. All right. I don't think I need to do that, but we'll see. So I'm going to install the stiffener, and then we're going to come back, and then I'm going to just save the 2 extra frames for the next issue. Because the next issue, 64, we will actually be at least installing the last outer ring piece to kind of complete the circle, and that'll help just kind of stiffen things and keep things from slacking, you know, while we have to wait for the next month, with which I think this is month 16 if I'm not mistaken. So I should be getting month 17 here in a few weeks, and that will be issues 65, 66, 67, and 68. And then once we get up into the 70s, we actually start working on the mandibles. Now, I've already seen some of the early 70s issues. The mandibles will actually have a metal framework, which I'm really super happy about. There will be additional support jigs for those pieces, so it's really looking cool. So I'm really looking forward to that. All right, so I'm going to reposition the camera again so that we can get a view of the framework, or actually just the radial rib. Actually, I can probably do the radial rib right now. So let's go ahead. Just going to pop this out. Along with, yeah, so these two pieces of framework, I'll set those aside. We'll worry about those in the next issue. However, I want to, actually that's garbage. I want to see if how many of these spare long screws I have. Because they always give you like one extra, but there's one. I want to kind of keep from opening up as many packets as I can. No, those are threaded. Oh, I think I see one more down in my parts bin. I need a magnetized screwdriver. There we go. Yay! All right, so we got 4 long screws. So I don't need these. I'll throw those in my little screw bin. Next up, we have to put this in. Let's see, which direction do I have these? Oh no, I don't even have my support jig out here. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put it like this. I'm going to have to shake up some Loctite here. Set that aside. And now comes the easy part. Just getting these pieces screwed in. Okay. So as you can probably see, my new I actually had to go and purchase a new phone. Supposedly it records at 4K resolution, so I don't know if there's an option to enable that or if it's just filming in 4K. I guess once I go to edit it, I'll find out. But if it is available, if I can do this in 4K, I will actually try to do the rest of the videos in 4K for you guys. So so those of you who have 1440p monitors like I do, or 4K monitors, or if you have a Mac and you have a 5K monitor, if you've got one of the new iMacs that have the 5K monitor, then you'll be able to see the video in a lot of extra detail, which is pretty cool. Okay. Okay, so that still shakes around a little bit, but not really too much we can do about that. All right, so my next step is I'm going to actually have to attach this onto the hull. So I need to pull out the jig and get that attached. So I'll be right back as I get that set up. Okay, so here we are. We've got everything set up on the jig. This piece right here is going to be fitting essentially right here, and we'll just have to screw these screws down. So now I need to find some of the black screws. Got a packet right here. We'll put a few of those out, and then what did I do? Okay. I was like, what did I do with my Loctite? Now, one of the things that I've had a lot of trouble with lately are the black screws not fitting. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down, I'm going to thread them in, thread them out, make sure that they're working okay. Okay. Because there's a lot of other threads that I've actually had to use the thread tool that were provided with, I don't know, it seems like it's in the late 40s, something like that. These are actually looking pretty good so far. Okay. All right then. So we'll just start by aligning this, kind of. Get some Loctite on one of my screws here first. And again, I want to go from the inside out, so I'll start this. Okay, not tightening it all the way down just yet. Hopefully I'm not covering everything up with my hands. Actually, these all seem to be going in very well. All right, I need a little bit more Loctite. To do the last few screws here. And just while I'm thinking about it, you guys might want to stick around until the end of the video. I've got a little bit I've got a tip on painting, or rather what paint to use for all of the red panels on the outside of the Falcon. I actually have found what I believe to be the perfect color. Now, you know, opinions are like armpits. Everyone has them, but some of them stink, obviously. I've done a lot of research. I've done about 6 or 7 months of research, possibly even a little bit more, on the exact color that I was wanting to use for that red. You know, because I've been looking at doing my own mixtures. I've been looking at the DOA colors, which I feel the DOA colors are a little bit too bright, and I could be wrong. It could just be that the photos that I'm seeing of the DOA colors are a little bit brighter, because different cameras, especially these cell phone cameras, they're not always properly white balanced, and basically that can lead to certain colors being oversaturated. The tint can shift a little bit, and so what you see on your computer screen isn't always what you're going to get. So that's why I'm kind of a little bit reserved in saying, you know, they're wrong, but there's a very vast, I guess, variety of, you know, people's what's the word I'm looking for? Their interpretation, I guess, or their I can't think of the right word. But basically, how our brain, how we collect information with our eyes, and how our brain processes that information and allows us to form an opinion on, you know, what is right and wrong, or what is the correct color, because, you know, and also people are colorblind. Also, people have a wide variety of you know, thought patterns when it comes to colors, and not only colors but a lot of other things. And so anyway, I actually found a color which is from Mr. Hobby. It's number 81 Russet. The downside is it's only a gloss color, but I've actually color matched it using several different programs with Photoshop and some other things. And I really think if you're just looking for, you know, a off-the-shelf product, this is probably going to be the closest that you're going to get without actually having to custom mix something. And this is actually what I will be using. When it's dry, it's like dead on the colors that it's supposed to be. So anyway, Mr. Color by Mr. Hobby, number 81 Russet. It's spelled R-U-S-S-E-T. So that's it. All right, anyway, let's move on. So we've got everything we're going to do. We could put the 2 extra frames in. I'm not going to do that because with the next issue, we're going to get this inner frame. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then we will connect this outer frame because this is just kind of flopping over here, and it's really old. This is actually the first bit of framework that we installed over here. So actually you can't really see it, but there we go. See how floppy that is? So anyway, we'll be right back. I'm going to get the camera set up again for doing the gluing, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so now we're going to be detailing this port recess. Let's see, it says the large recess to the rear of the port corridor has a number of plant-on details that can be fitted now. Some further details will be added later on when the recess is fitted into the hole in the plating. So we got this ready to go, and okay, it says start by gluing the inner liner into the base of the recess. So it's going to go in like this, and then these little holes are going to plug it completely in, I guess. All right. So to ensure that this never, ever, ever falls out, we are gonna glue this puppy Alright, so I've got quite a bit of glue on there, as you can see. A little bit more over here. Did I overdo it? So now we'll just flip it over and set it in, and we'll just push this in as far as it will go. That super glue should bond these two pieces together forever and always. And actually I got a little bit of excess glue coming up through the center right there. Okay, next it's got the piece flipped around like this, and it's saying start by trimming number 1 off the sprue. Now number 1 is going to be this piece right here. So we get out our sprue cutters, and you kind of want to be careful about where you cut this, because there is a little piece there on the end like that. Come around to this side, and there is a little bit that we're going to need to file off, so get our fingernail files. Okay, so this piece is going to fit in to this hole here, right there, and then it kind of fits into this straight piece there. So I don't know why exactly they did it like this, but we're going to kind of test fit this in here before we glue anything. Wait a second here. Did I cut the right? Okay, so if this is supposed to glue there, which it clearly does not, what the heck? This piece doesn't even remotely fit. Unless it's supposed to just, wait a second. It makes it look on the picture, let's see, it says glue number 1 to the square recess and round hole in the liner. So the square recess I would think is this, but it actually, when you look at it a little bit later, it looks like it's basically just gluing right there. Oh wait, I see. Okay, so there's a little notch right there. So there is a little hole right there. See that little hole? So that actually kind of fits right. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that right in there? And then, okay, I get it. I got it. Okay, good. Okay, where did I put my pliers? Okay, here we go. So I'm going to get my pliers out here, and we're going to just dab a little glue. Okay, phew. Next, glue two to the two holes in the center of the liner. Part number 2 is, looks like it's this big long thing. So I'm gonna cut this right here. And right there. And then looks like this piece kind of starts down here at the bottom and goes up towards the top. So, you know what? We've already got some glue in those holes, so we're gonna be a little careful. Be sure to put some extra get some extra glue on there. I don't know how well you can see that. This front piece is not really wanting to seat. Yeah, it's actually not wanting to seat in there. Hold on. I'm gonna have to try to figure out a way to make this work. I think what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to cut off a bit of this post because I got a little bit too much glue in there the first time. So let's try this again. Actually, even the rear post, I think I can cut a little bit off of that too. Maybe cut it about halfway off. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay. Yeah, I think this is going to work much better. It's almost a wonder why they didn't have us glue all the small pieces in and then push this piece in last. I don't get it. Alright, well eventually that will cure and it won't be a problem. Let's see. Glue. Okay, next is part number 3, which is going to be this pipe right here. And again, I think this has like a little post at the end, like that. So make sure, come on now, make sure that you don't cut this little post off right there. So be aware of that, because it doesn't really mention it in the instructions. Okay, uh-oh. Okay, so this goes here and then, no, here, and then there, I think. What? Okay, this is kind of silly. Let's, I'm going to get part number 4 out because I want to kind of test fit these two. Sorry guys. Again, make sure not to cut off the little post. Now it's saying that this piece glues like in here. Oh, it makes it look like they're both gluing into these two holes right there, but those might actually come later. So this glues, let's see here. Okay, this piece here, this is part number 3, goes into this outer hole, or the one to the left, like this. And then this part just kind of fits down inside this little channel, like in here, in between there, if I'm not mistaken. Which, yeah, that looks like it's right. Okay, so I'm going to glue this into place. Okay, I'll hold that for a few moments so it lets the pieces kind of set. Like that. And then this is part number 4. I think this is the last one that we have to do for this stage. Put this one in the other hole. And then this one just kind of sits right, right there like this. Kind of a shame that they didn't put like another hole in that little, piece. That way it would have made it a lot more obvious. Let's see if I can maybe lift this up just a little bit. Maybe. There, like that. Maybe not quite that much. Okay, so that's pretty much all we have to glue for this segment. And I think we have, let's see, yeah, I think I can show you exactly where that goes on the framework. So I'll let that sit for just a moment. And then in issue 64, while I'm talking about issue 64, we'll let that kind of dry. So in issue 64, we get the last piece of the round support jig ever. We get 2 more frames. We get a radial stiffener, part of one, and another piece of hull plating, which will be kind of like the opposite end of the hull on the back. And then there's going to be another triangular piece that we'll get probably in issue 65. I think issue 65 or 66 is where we actually go around and screw in all of the different pieces, which you guys remember how that was the last time. It was not fun. My hand just about fell off by the time I was done. So I'm going to put my glue aside. Put everything aside here. Take this back out. There we have our finished piece in all of its 3D glory. Throw that away. Keep the sprue with the extra bits on it. And And I'm going to take down my hole here. I'm just going to lay it flat out onto the table. Just something I really don't like to do. Trying to think if I have I don't really have anything that I can set it on that's large enough and thick enough. Actually, I might be able to set it on this hot glue thing. Okay. So I'm going to move my camera right down here. And this is where this piece is going to end up. Something like this. You can see this will align. There's going to be pipes coming off of here and here, which will somehow go and glue into, you know, things. I think this pipe, there's a little hole right there. It'll go down. And then I don't know where this other one will go. We still have like this little hole right there, so who knows what that's going to be, but that's essentially what it's going to look like when it's all done. So I'm going to screw this piece in for right now. I will be taking this out because I am going to be repriming this in black like everything else, and then actually I'm going to gloss this over with Insignia white, and then I'm really going to dirty it up. So it'll look pretty cool by the time I'm done. The outer panels won't be very dirty, but the way I kind of envision these recesses is that over time, I mean, these might actually be docking clamps or something so that, you know, when the cargo pod, there's always this thing about these external cargo pods going on to the outside of the Falcon. And so maybe this helped them clamp in. I don't really know, but that's just my theory on that. So don't try this at home, kids. And I'm just gonna set this in, and I'm gonna put the screws in for right now. I'll be taking this out later, for sure. But I just wanted to kind of get this so that we can really see it from the outside. And I think those two screws are adequate to hold it into place. And there we have it. So we've got two of the recesses. We've got a little bit more framework to do. We'll be doing the other side. Can you see? Yeah, we'll be doing in issue 64. We'll have this complete with the last frame that's going to join this up, and then we'll just need, I think, 2 more frame pieces, and we'll be done, but that won't come until next month, which really sucks. But I want to join this outer ring because it just helps stiffen everything up a lot better. And and then I think next month we're going to have all the pieces that fit back here, all the outer hull pieces, except for maybe one, which is really going to suck because I think we'll have to wait until either the end of June or sometime in July, early July, to get that piece. And then at that time, we'll also get all the pieces to finish up the front top piece of the hull. We'll have this long piece. We'll have another panel here, which I think comes in issue 74, no, 73, I don't know. Oh, and then one other thing I wanted to show you guys, and this is one of the things that got lost. Let me set this aside here. On my hull, my lower hull, I actually went and, let me zoom into this really quick so you guys can see. I actually took a soldering iron. It's a Weller 35 watt. It's got a really bad tip on it, one of the old tips that I had, and just kind of gummed this up to make it look more like the blast mark on the real model. The one that was on here I thought was really bad. Now, one of the bad things is you've got this rubber piece here in the center, so you do have to be careful not to melt that away. But you know, if you go around it and just kind of make it look more like a laser came in there, or a particle beam came in there and did some damage, then I think that'll kind of liven it up and make it look a little bit more realistic. So I did do that. I actually did a whole video on it, but again, it was lost with my iPhone 6, and I don't know that I will be able to recover that footage. If I ever can, I will do that and you know, repost it along in the timeline. But you know, until I can get that figured out, you know, who knows. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, hanging out with me once again as I build my Millennium Falcon. As always, don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time for Star Wars Build the Millennium Falcon. I'm Brad M73, and we will see you guys next time. Bye for now, guys.